Hello, and welcome to the Hack Divorce Course Parenting Module. My name is Michelle. I'm a family law mediator and creator of the Hack Divorce Course. Check out the link below to download the free parenting module workbook that accompanies these videos. And if you are a DIYer and would like to write your own separation agreement, click on the link below to purchase my definitive sourcebook of family law separation agreement clauses. This one-of-a-kind, indispensable resource will show you a dozen examples of real, comprehensive separation agreements with tips and tools so you can competently write your own agreement. Be sure to like and subscribe, and now, let's get on with it. Health and dental care comes under the umbrella of a major decision-making area. You and your ex will either agree to make decisions in these areas together, or you will designate one of you to have the decision-making power. We're now working in section number 8 of the Parenting Plan Tool Worksheet, and question number 1 asks, how will you make decisions about medical or dental treatment? Will both parents be major decision makers for your children's health, or will just one of you be the major decision maker? If you are sharing the decision-making responsibility, then you will obviously make these decisions together. That means having a decision-making process figured out between the two of you. For instance, when an important decision needs to be made about a child's medical or dental, you'll have to figure out how you will communicate together about the issue, who will liaise with the health professionals, who will coordinate arrangements with the health insurance, and how will the child be supported and cared for if there's a recovery period. Question 2 is about health cards. Who will hold the children's health cards and vaccination cards? Will the cards move between homes with the children? Since you only have one copy of health and vaccine cards, one parent will have to store these safely at their house. The other parent can have a copy or access the originals when necessary. Alternatively, you can send these cards back and forth with the child, but there's a greater risk that they could get lost, so you'll have to put measures in place to prevent that from happening. The parent that accompanies the children most frequently to medical appointments is probably the best choice for holding on to the cards, but it's up to you. On to question number 3. Who will make decisions about vaccinations or other preventative treatments? If you and your ex are joint decision makers about health, then you'll need to make choices together about how to treat your child with vaccines or preventative treatments and possibly alternative, natural, or complementary medicine. If you're the sole decision maker in this category, it's still a good idea to share your decisions with the other parent for safety reasons, and simply because the other parent has a right to know about their child's health, even if they aren't the ones making the major decision. Question number 4 asks, how will you access or share medical information? Parents who are joint decision makers should have equal access to their children's medical records. If this is a problem, the first step is to show the medical professional your signed separation document and parenting plan, which is legal proof that you have this authority. If this, for some reason, is still not enough, there is a form that you and your ex can fill out to this end, and it should guarantee your access to your kids' medical records. I've attached the form in the resources below. As well, you may want to include the following clause in the parenting section of your agreement. 1.1. John and Patricia may make inquiries and be given information by the children's teachers, school officials, doctors, dentists, healthcare providers, summer camp counselors, and others involved with the children. The parties intend this clause to provide each of them with access to any information or documentation to which a parent of a child would otherwise have the right of access. If, for whatever reason, this clause itself is not sufficient, although both parties intended to be sufficient authority for either of them, the parties will cooperate and execute any required authorization or direction necessary to enforce the intent of the clause. Question number 5 asks, who will take care of the children when they are ill? Who will take care of the children when they are sick depends largely on who's available in most cases. Can a parent easily take time off of work? Can a grandparent help? Is one parent better at knowing how to treat illness due to experience or education? Does your child have a special condition, or are they at a higher risk if they do get sick? Consider all of these things when deciding on a protocol to deal with ill children. Question number 6 asks, who will make medical decisions in an emergency situation? How will parents notify each other? Who will notify the children's school and others about an emergency? Normally, whichever parent is with the child in an emergency situation is the one who will make the decisions about their immediate care. If there's time, they can contact the other parent, but sometimes choices need to be made quickly and then communicated after. If parents are joint decision makers about their child's medical needs, then as soon as it's possible in an emergency situation, they will begin communicating about the decisions they need to make. Having a designated spokesparent to relay information to schools, extended family, and extracurricular providers is a good thing to have figured out before an emergency takes place. Question number 7 asks, how will medication and other healthcare needs for your children be managed as they travel between homes? If your child takes medication regularly or for a specified period of time only, it's important that they don't miss doses, that they're monitored for adverse reactions, and that the caregivers are observant of worsening conditions. Some children have conditions that need to be monitored closely, such as diabetes, or that require regular procedures to be administered. If this is the case for your child, you may want to write up a preamble for your parenting plan that explains these things and how you and your ex plan on handling it once the kids start traveling back and forth between parents. There are some examples of what these preambles might look like in the Real Agreements Examples PDF. Be sure to check them out if this applies to you. On a practical note, having a communication book where parents and caregivers record when medication is given and any behaviors or issues that arise as a result of the condition or the medication can be a very helpful tool and can even be life-saving in extreme circumstances. It can also be helpful to have such a book when consulting with healthcare providers, as it will provide a comprehensive reference of the child's daily medical history. Question number 8 asks, how will you make arrangements for things like orthodontic treatments, counseling, physiotherapy, speech therapy, diet, glasses, prescription drugs, and medical and dental checkups? And how will the costs be shared? Once again, parents need to access their own schedules and understand their agreed upon roles in parenting in order to decide who's best suited to make and keep track of appointments. Having one parent designated for this helps to eliminate the confusion that can enter when both parents are trying to coordinate appointments and visits with various healthcare providers. This will require that the liaisoning parent communicates with the other parent about appointments and information that the care providers have given. The non-liaisoning parent needs to be kept updated and included in the decision-making loop. This may require, on occasion, the organizing of meetings with both parents and healthcare professionals. As for sharing medical-related costs, most people follow suit with whatever they've agreed on in their special expenses section, so 50-50 or proportionate to income. Question number 9 asks, will there be medical insurance for the children? Who will submit claims for insurance? Who will pay extra costs? In most cases, if a parent is paying child support, they're typically expected to provide extended health coverage for the kids also. However, there are many cases where the other parent is the one with the health insurance, and that's just fine. As well, I've run into many situations where both parents have health insurance. If both health insurances are used, the parent whose birthday comes first is usually the one that the claims are submitted to first. However, sometimes even though both parties have insurance, one of the coverages may be very minimal or inadequate, so the parties will decide to go with the one that has better coverage. If the parent who does not hold the policy for the health insurance pays for a service that requires reimbursement, the parties should have it worked out in advance as to how that person will be reimbursed. For instance, they may submit the receipt and claim to the parent who holds the policy and then expect to be reimbursed within 7 days. An example of a clause that would apply to this situation is as follows. The section would be medical and dental insurance. 1.1. John and Patricia will both maintain the children as beneficiaries of their extended health insurance through their employments, and they will sign documentation authorizing the other to make claims directly to his or her insurer. A party who is reimbursed for a medical expense paid by the other will immediately forward the reimbursed amount to the other. Sharing medical expenses that are not covered by the insurance is an extra expense for child support, and the parties will need to decide if it's shared 50-50 or through some other formula like proportionate to income. Finally, if something happens and the coverage that you had for your children is no longer available, you and your ex need to figure out how to get new coverage for your kids. Many provinces in Canada have programs for families that don't qualify for any other type of insurance programs. These programs may provide drug plans and dental care. What's more, many people can access group health insurance plans through their auto insurance providers such as CAA in Canada, or through something like an alumni insurance coverage program that is offered to college and university graduates. There may be other ways to find replacement insurance, so ask friends, family, and coworkers if they are aware of any programs that might help, or do an old-fashioned keyword search online to find some leads. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to grab your copy of my indispensable resource for writing your own separation agreement, the definitive sourcebook of family law separation agreement clauses. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.